put my name up here for you because it's hard to hear it enunciated. Fellowship of Peace Foundation is what we have become, myself and my adult children family, in our work to end the death penalty. And you can find us at that full title at gmail.com. I'll leave some cards with you also. And what we're doing right now is we are traveling across Washington State from Spokane all the way to Olympia to draw attention to the death penalty. And I'm supposed to hold still, aren't I? We are going to walk 185 of those miles. We have walked 54 of them so far to get to Walla Walla. We're visiting communities, individuals, organizations, churches, anybody and everyone along the way, to have conversations about the death penalty. And it's called Peace Journey, and we put that on us, and we're trying to look very peaceful because we want this to be a welcoming subject that is a very difficult subject for many people. It's a very volatile subject, and we would like to get the conversations going. So this is peaceful, compassionate, non-confrontational. And today, we are going to be gathering in Wildwood Park at 3:30, and from 3:30 to 4:30, John St. Hilaire, who I haven't met yet, but he works with Whitman, is going to be playing some music, banjo and acoustic guitar, to make a nice, lovely atmosphere, folk music, and we will be gathering to have conversations about the death penalty, offer information, answers. We have handouts. And then we will be walking from Wildwood Park to Washington State Penitentiary, which is about 2.5 miles. And because this is a journey, we're carrying the story with us, and all of you who can make it and others that will be coming to meet us there, we will walk together carrying this issue peacefully through town to the penitentiary, and we will walk along the sidewalk up there to the end, which ends about where IMU, the intensive management unit, where death row is, what I call, I guess we like to have different names for it.
You might mention where Wildwood Park is.
Wildwood Park is
Boyer and Division.
There you go, Boyer and Division. It's right next, hop over from Pioneer Park. It's a smaller one. It's easier to find each other there, and it'll be a nice walk from there. And then when we get to the penitentiary, it's about being supportive to ending the death penalty, therefore the men on death row and the potentials. It's also being about supportive to all those in the prison and the staff. I would really like some bridges to be built and some communication and some understanding that we have great respect, at least I do, and the people I work with, for people who work in the penitentiaries. It's their job. They're responsible. They have integrity, and we want good people working with those that we do decide to incarcerate, because they have great responsibility to help folks reform or be. It's a big, big job, and so we want to be supportive. And the prison knows what we are doing. The sheriffs know, the State Patrol, they all know. And I promised it would be very peaceful. We're not going to block any streets. We're not going to be confrontational or anything. So that's the atmosphere, and all those with that kind of heart. Really, I would just encourage you to please show up. More people make history. One person makes a statement, but a crowd will make history and draw attention. So please consider that. We also have, I mentioned the campaign, or did I not? Okay, there's I'm not campaigning, I'm giving you information that there's a Safe and Just Alternatives campaign going in coordination with the Washington Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty. And you can find that, I'll leave one of these cards online too, and I will have lots of these cards with us if you want to fill any out. And what they're doing is gathering signatures that say to your legislators, we'd like you to look at this bill that's coming to session in January that is talking about repealing the death penalty and leaving in place life without parole. It is very, very expensive to have the death penalty, many, many more times expensive than a life sentence. And it depends on how you look at it. What we're doing is asking a question. Maybe I can do that for you. Why the death penalty? And just trying to get answers from people just what they think, and we're just talking to them. So does anyone, whether you agree or disagree, does anyone have an answer for me? Why the death penalty in Washington State?
I think sometimes it's seen as a deterrent. People think if the death penalty is there, that's more of a reason for people not to commit crimes.
So she said
That's true or not?
it's seen as a deterrent. Well, do you think that it is true? Or do you know any information?
I don't think so. I think a couple years ago, before coming to a talk, I think it was a couple years ago, by someone who was on death row for like 19 years, and then it was proved that he was innocent. I decided that I was against the death penalty because we just can't prove that everybody on death row is in fact guilty.
Mm-hmm. Just last week, a woman in Arizona was exonerated after 24 years on death row. We have 143 people exonerated from death row since 1972. So exactly, we have a lot of mistakes that are going on. We have killed innocents because of the mistakes. We know there have been people executed who did not do this. And then as a deterrent, the FBI, you can find it online at different websites like the National Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty and Death Penalty Information. FBI statistics say it is not a deterrent to have the death penalty. As a matter of fact, murders usually go up in the area where there's an execution. Violence begets violence, perhaps, is that one. So I know we don't have a lot of time. You're trying to get me rolling. Is there any more comments or questions before Keith kicks me out of here?
Everybody knows how to get to the event this afternoon if you're interested in participating.
Did we perhaps meet you along the way? I have a class.
Yes, definitely. There's various timelines, and it's really hard to get things going during the day, but we need to do it during the day. The penitentiary would not appreciate it later. And if you can't make it to the park, yes, along the way or at the prison, someplace, just be sure you park where you're allowed to be. And we're not supposed to be on prison grounds when we're doing this kind of gathering, so we are allowed on the sidewalk. We don't want to be on government land. So anywhere you want to park or find out what is appropriate. Can I count on some of you to show up? I'm going to put the camera on them. Is anybody going to come? It's the beginning of the school year, and we're a little overwhelmed, but this is something you can really get I was going to say sink your teeth into, but get your feet into, and we can stand up for something that we need to think about. Do we want a peaceful society or a violent society?
What time are you beginning the walk? You're actually leaving?
Between 4:30 and 5, making sure people who are saying they want to show up, we connect with them by phone or whatever. If they're calling in and saying, "Oh, I'm a little bit late, I want to," otherwise you will see us along the way or meet us there. So between 4:30 and 5, I'll leave you. I wrote up a little quickie on it.
It might be
Leave
helpful
that.
for you to have a cell phone with you while you're marching.
Yes, I do have my
If you
cell
just
phone.
Here could call you and ask, well, where
Okay,
are you right now?
I have
And
some
let
cards. I'll
can
put
meet
this
you.
up here. Should I put it up high?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, also, Dick Morgan, you may know who he is, the former superintendent, will be meeting up with us around 6:30. And Dick Morgan is against the death penalty and testified this year factually from his experience as superintendent from that point of view. And he also was in on the execution of 3 persons. So he has some great experience. Superintendent of prisons. Okay, thank you. Warden to me, but I'm not supposed to say that, I guess. So that would be an excellent opportunity to ask some questions from someone who actually lived it, did it, and has that perspective of why we do not need to have the death penalty and we should not.
He'll be speaking at the
No,
event.
after we're done, when we'll gather afterwards wherever anybody is around, he would like to speak with us and just have conversations. So
Do you know where that'll be? Will that be at the same site?
no, we don't have that figured out yet because he's working today, and so I would need to hear from you and tell you where we're at. But I really hope to get all these young people involved. We need your energy and your heart. We need you to be the ones to create the world that we're looking for. So please think about it and try to make time, or get in touch with us and tell people along the route that you know, get a hold of them ahead of time. You can connect them up with our blog and our Facebook, etc. And we'd love to make more contacts. That's what this is about. If you know anyone along the way and they want to come out and see us or talk to us, etc., please let them know or give us the contacts.
And if they have friends or associates that.
Oh, everyone and anyone is invited who will be peacefully wanting to make change and end the death penalty. So that would be great. Yes, anyone and everyone. Is that it?
Thanks very much. We really
All right.
appreciate this, and hopefully we have a good turnout.
Thank you, everyone.